it's a privilege to have Andy Dosty on the show today. And you know, as we know that he's a radio personality and also a disc jockey, maybe that's not all. He has more to tell us. So Andy Dosty, we want to know about your media journey. Can you share it with us, your media journey?
Yeah, it's been a very long journey. It's been years since 1994 when I decided to get into music, but it changed when my passion to rather operate equipment and learn how to present music by DJing. Then I was advised by someone to listen to radio, but my passion was not to be in news or to be a newscaster, but to present music. So when the advice came, I had then drawn myself to a presenter in London called Dr. Folks. Dr. Folks presented the the Rothman's Top 40 Countdown in London, and I used to listen to him every Friday evening. And then it switched to another presenter in America called Walt Baby Love. He was also a host of a countdown show. And so that was when the passion began. Then I used to listen to James Amate Few. I mean, back then you would only hear a Shabarangs or a Michael Jackson song only on GBC when KKD or Charlie Sam was on radio. And I had the opportunity to meet with them. So I went to Charlie Sam and he schooled me on how to present on radio, some things you can't say, something that are appropriate to be said on radio. So at GBC, they wouldn't employ me because they felt like I had not been to the university, because I was an ordinary Form 5 leaver who had not even gone to the advanced level yet. I had failed in mathematics. I wrote again and I failed again. Twice I wrote even the late exam of deck, and better still I failed in mathematics, so I gave up. But my mother said, no, you have to write it again. But at the time my passion had rose up and nothing could stop me. So I joined a group called Ghetto Boys. They were a group of spinners, and through that the name Andy Dosty was born. So somewhere in 1997, I met with a man called Anyasco. He used to build radio transmitters. So I spoke with him, he invited me over, and his radio station was in a kiosk. That was when I met Lord Kenya, because Lord Kenya was also a radio presenter. That was his beginnings. So he was not even in music, he was a radio presenter. Then I met with Azigiza Senior. So it was me, Azigiza Senior, Lord Kenya, and a guy called Chemicals, and then Big Shack. So it was the five of us on air. Just a few months into the journey, Radio Mercury came to buy the transmitter, and then the man requested that he needed DJs and presenters, so we all moved on to Mercury. Unfortunately, I wasn't treated well there. The man never recognized me. I wasn't paid. I was never paid. Never. So I moved to OTEC. At the time, GBC, because they frustrated me and wouldn't work with me because I had not been to the university, because they needed graduates to work with, I left. So OTEC, it was Kokoso Frimpong who needed someone to sit in for a 30-minute show. And I told him that, yeah, I can do it. For 30 minutes, why not? He said, look, 30 minutes, you're going to read presenter mentions, you play music, there will be advertisements in there. And 30 minutes, can you do it? I said, why not? And it's just 30 minutes. So let me do it. Well, I was just trying my luck, and it worked. So I worked for just 2 days. The third day I didn't go there. It was a weekend. So Monday I went there because, not for feedback, but I had gone there because they were my friends. Immediately I got there, he asked me where I had been. I said, why? I asked him why. And he said, our highest client is requesting that you come back on that program, otherwise she's withdrawing all her advertisements on the station. And I asked him why. He said, the way you presented it, she had a lot of sales on that day, and she's been trying to reach you. I said, I don't have a mobile phone. And that was when I had my first mobile phone. That was in 1997, space phone. I remember I had my very first mobile phone because the client bought it for me, and through that, and then it ran through to 1999 where they bought me my first car. So it's been quite a journey. So I left them in 2004 and I joined Despite Media. They brought me to Peace FM. Then in that same year, they took me to Kumasi on Hello FM because Hello FM belonged to Despite. So I left them in 2000. I spent 2 years there. So 2004, 2006, I left them to Angel, and I spent 5 years. I had to sign a contract with them for 5 years. Then I had invitations to perform and play at parties outside the country, and so I used to fly in and out. Then in 2012, I had a contract to work with the Graphic Communications Group. Then I became the face of Graphic Showbiz on TV. I presented the Graphic Showbiz on TV program on TV, which was syndicated across Ghana and Africa. It was on DSTV and Channel O and other channels. Then 2013, Multimedia signed me, and so it's been quite a journey. I had to summarize it. I couldn't say it all.
So yeah. From your point of view, can you say, or can I say, this profession or your profession is a childhood dream or is by default?
For me, I can say both. I've always said that my career has always been on autopilot because it's something not well designed. I couldn't design that, this year I'm doing OTEC. Next year I'll make sure I get to multimedia, and when I go there I have to talk to them that if they don't pay me $1 million, I'm not working with them. No. It's been by the grace of God, it's been on autopilot. It's been well steered by God, well engineered, which is none of my making. My childhood dream, every child has a dream, because I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I lived directly opposite the magistrate court. Two of my grandfathers used to work there. So the magistrate was my grandfather, and then my other grandfather was a lawyer Dubois. And so each time I saw them and how they dressed and seeing them in the courthouse, because it was directly opposite my house, and so I used to frequent there. What I didn't like was the sight of handcuffs. Each time I saw handcuffs, it made me puke, and so I would puke, and throwing up wasn't very healthy for me, and that prevented me from going to the courthouse. And so that didn't really kill my dream of becoming a lawyer, but I realized that actually being a lawyer, law demanded a lot of reading, a lot of time, and my passion for music drew me away from reading too much, to the extent that I failed in mathematics. Can you imagine? But it's not late. As I sit here, I'm a graduate of strategic communications. I hold a degree in strategic communications, and I haven't given up on reading law, and so I intend reading copyright law, because it will be difficult for me to go to the courthouse and speak with the judge. If he shouts on me, I'll shout back. And so going into the courthouse, it's going to be a problem. But yeah, I haven't given up anyway. Yeah, not at all.
What values and principles did you hold so dear to achieve your goal?
Well, that's a very tough question. Never stop learning. It's a principle. And so even as I sit here, this morning I was saying it on radio, that the young DJs, when I watch them perform and they do something that is fascinating or I find new or alien, I call them and tell them that I want to come and learn, and sometimes they laugh. But I'm so serious. I get so serious each time I see them with anything new, because it is a principle. Never stop learning. Never stop praying. And these things have really guided me. One more thing. I've never been clouded by show business and popularity. Never. I mean, I saw fame at a very young age. I was very young when I became popular. Very, very young. I mean, in 1994, 95, 96, I was popular already. Do you understand? So, imagine, a lot of people on social media were not born at the time when I saw fame. When my names were being written in front of trotros and at the back of taxis, back then, I mean, I was popular. I didn't see myself big or huge, and I had always been humbled by the fact that I go to places and people call my name and they take pictures with me and I sign autographs. Not long ago, I was in London and I went to a mall in Croydon, and I saw people would see me and they would come to me and they would take pictures with me, and I was with a friend of mine and she was shocked, like, so apart from sitting on radio and presenting your shows, what else do you do? I said, that's it. She said, how come you are so popular? Because almost every Ghanaian we meet, they get close and they take pictures with you, and you are still the normal and humble human. And for me, it's humbling, because if show business, if I'm being clouded by that, I don't think I'll be here. I would even refuse this interview. I mean, who the hell are you coming to me to talk to me? I don't value you. I may not, but I don't see those things. And I've always been, when I joined multimedia, I did an interview and I told them that I think this is a new chapter in my life. And it's just the very first page, and I'll keep flipping. And if this is the first page and I'm doing greater things, imagine if I get to page 10. Do you understand? So these are some of the principles. Yeah.
So have you ever encountered a major problem in your piece of work, and what lessons do you learn out of that?
Problems, I've always encountered problems. Problems will always come. And now I am the host of Daybreak Hits on Hits FM. When I assumed office, when I took over as the host of the show, there were too many problems that, because of me, the main host has been ousted and I had taken over the show. It even went ahead and people were saying I took the position with black magic, with voodoo, with juju. Imagine me. If I had juju, I don't think I'll be driving 2 cars, just 2 cars. I'll be driving 5 cars. I'll be building huge houses. I'll live next door to the president because of my money. Unfortunately, I don't have it, and I don't know whatever they're talking about. And so these kind of problems really hurt me. It affected my line of work. It affected my personality. It affected business, because at a point in time, people wouldn't call me, and it was a big problem. But I didn't allow that to affect me too much, because I realized that there was a big task ahead of me than all of these naysayers. They thought I wouldn't do it. And so, these are some of the problems, and it may come same way. It may come almost every time. Yeah. Another problem was my frequent travels abroad. I had too many invitations, and people were inviting me left, right, center. And so I would go to America, come back home, and that week I would have another invitation, and they would fly me back. And it was affecting my line of business here in Ghana, because no one wanted to work with me. Even multimedia, when they were hiring me, I remember very well, they were telling me that you are well known to be traveling too much. You are a frequent traveler. What shows you will stay? And I promised them that I'm no longer doing that, because when I returned finally in 2012 and I wanted to work again, no one. All they were saying was, you are too good, but for you to begin work today and tomorrow you are in Brazil, the next day you are in Jamaica, you are in America. No. Because no businessman would want to work with you like that. So it affected me. And so I really slowed down on my travels. I've turned down a lot of outside jobs. Yeah.
Journalism is said to be a poor profession by a lot of people, saying the work doesn't pay. What's your position?
Who said so?
A lot of people, it's outside there. That, don't do media, don't do this.
Journalism. If journalism doesn't pay, why am I still here? Journalism pays. If you know your work, if you know your worth, you will always make your money. If Anas Arimia Anas is making millions of money, if Andy Dosty is making millions of money, why are you saying that journalism doesn't pay? It pays. Know your worth. I mean, it's quite unfortunate that there are too many platforms, and so it has affected our line of work. That doesn't mean it doesn't pay, but it pays.